Welcome. We're glad to have you aboard. We look forward to being able to do some great things together. Let me start by saying, as always, you don't have to watch this video. We will always give you a text alternative to the video because we don't believe in saying you gotta watch this video. If you'd like to, and if there's additional information, it won't be much different from what we present you in the text. All the important stuff is there. So, your preference. Watch the video or read the text. Either way, we're going to get into a job description so you have an idea of what you're doing as a marketing specialist. Now, if this information is new to you and you've been with us for a little while, well, this is what you can expect it to be now that we have come up with a very systematic approach. If you're brand new, this is probably something that people have been doing now for a while. Either way, this is new information and we'd like you to just to get an idea. It's just an overview. We will give you details on every single thing you're supposed to do. Don't feel pressured. Don't feel like you have to absorb everything, especially as a marketing specialist, because you don't have anything real specific that has to happen at a certain time. So this is an ideal position for somebody who has other obligations, because our goal is to simply get you a full-time income without having to go through the stresses of the normal approaches that most people take. And of course, people are going to be like, well, that's too good to be true. Well, you know what? It is probably too good to be true, but that doesn't mean it always is too good to be true. In this case, it's true. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and give you an idea of what the job involves. Now, this is a neat sentence. You notice there aren't any commas or periods in this. You market a home-based business which sells an extreme value product backed by a company which has an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau to individuals who desire to work at home and earn a full-time income with a startup cost of $25 and no additional expense. Now, all those things we just said, all the details of how that actually works are found in this tutorial, and we go over it in great detail. But that's what we want you to understand. A lot of people are, what's the product? What's the product? Well, the extreme value product, of course, are educational videos. Lots of them, and they're fantastic. You want to look at them yourself, but that's not the product. That's the item that's sold, and that's what generates the commission. But the actual product is a home-based business. All the things that go with it, all of our expertise, all of our planning, and everything else that we've done to help you make that work. That's the product. We're providing a home-based business that sells a product and makes excellent income with virtually no investment or risk whatsoever. So, as you notice, we're calling this marketing because marketing is not selling. Now, you might have noticed as you answered the ad, it said direct sales. Well, those individuals that are actually involved in sales can be placement specialists. The rest of us are marketing specialists because selling is always marketing, but marketing is not necessarily selling, and the difference is whether or not you have to deal directly with the public. Because as a placement specialist, they deal with the public. They're the people that are actually calling folks and making this thing work. They're the ones enrolling, and they're the ones putting out all the detailed stuff. And you know what? A placement specialist gets paid pretty well for doing that. But you get paid pretty well also as a marketer behind the scenes, running various ad campaigns, and that is what is going to generate the activity for the placement specialist. Now, 100% of all activity generated goes to the marketing specialist. In other words, no one else gets any revenue or commission from this sale except you. The placement specialist gets paid for doing exactly what they do. And placement specialists are also marketing specialists as it relates to them having a business center just like yours. In other words, they're going to make the same kind of income you are, while they also make income as a placement specialist. But the idea, though, is as you're doing these campaigns, we're going to do for you exactly what we set out to do. That's a cute little sign. You've probably seen that before. Because you're not dealing with the public directly, you have very flexible hours. Personally, I like this, not necessarily for myself as much, but I like being able to see people that are stay-at-home parents or are trying to stay home and take care of a loved one. Perhaps they have special needs. It might be an elderly family member. It may be a young family member that has something that you have to be there for. This isn't going to be one of those jobs that you sit down and try to do and everyone else wants your attention just as soon as you sit down. You're not going to be on the phone and in the background somebody screaming, "Mommy, mommy, daddy, daddy." Okay? This is one of those situations where you can work this around your schedule. It's flexible. You can do this at 3 a.m. And the amount of things that we're asking you to do initially aren't that much. So the actual work isn't going to have to be done as much as you might think. So regardless of what you have going on in your life, let's say you have a full-time job. Let's say you have a full-time job and 5 part-time jobs. Let's say you're going to school. Or as I said, you have to take care of family obligations. This will work for you as well. And we want you to do this. Not because we're trying to get $25 from you necessarily. That's an awful lot of work to get $25 from somebody. But because we know this will benefit your life. It will. And we want to show you how. Okay, now because you're new, we're going to try to address some common concerns. These are things people always ask us. All right, about the compensation plan. We're going to be very direct about this. We are promising you a full-time income with part-time hours. We already talked about the flexibility of the hours, but it will be a full-time income. What do we consider a full-time income? Anything more than $50,000 per year. That's what is considered full-time, but it's not going to stop there. You're going to be making a lot more than that. But here's the point. We're going to keep that promise because it's a mathematical certainty. We've built a system unlike any that we've ever encountered. We've taken something and we've actually enhanced it to the point where we know that it works, and we'll do this for people because it's a formula that they follow over and over again. Again, details of all that type of thing are everywhere else in the tutorial. But what we want you to know right up front here is this is what's going to happen. You're going to have a full-time income, and you're not going to have to, it's not one of those things, well, if you do X, Y, Z, or if you go out and find so-and-so and so-and-so, you're not going to find anybody. You're not going to have to do X, Y, Z. You're going to do what we ask you to do, and it's going to be very simple and something you can do. You can't fail at it. So it's a mathematical certainty because it's simply a formula. You put in this, you get this output, and that's what we're going to do. So hold on, and you'll see. All right, because at this point you have your initial license. That was $25. Now, there will be no additional out-of-pocket expenses. A lot of people come into this worried about that. They're like, okay, so now you're going to want me to spend money on advertising, or I'm going to go out and buy this, or I'm going to go out and buy it. No, you're done spending. You have your $25 license, or maybe you got a $25 and $100 license all at once. Either way, you've got what you need with a $25 license. There will be no additional cost. No one's going to tell you, well, you know, it takes money to make money. Because usually when you hear that phrase, it's because someone's about to try to get some of your money. All right, we're not going to say that to you. You've done what you need to do financially. We're going to do the rest. Because again, this isn't about getting $25 from you. It's about taking something fantastic and taking it out there and getting as many people involved as we can because it's going to benefit them. Now, we're going to need you to have a paradigm shift. You know what a paradigm is. It's the difference between people who see things half empty or half full. Okay, well, it's just basically how you look at things. But there's going to be things about this business that people have to unlearn. Okay, especially as it relates to sequential selling, one-on-one relationships. In other words, you're selling a product to one person. You're not selling it to a group. You're not out there trying to market this to 50 people at a time. You're simply trying to create a relationship with another business owner where you provide them the product that generates their income, and in turn they pay you. They pay you $125 a month each and every month. That's the goal to get there. So that takes a little bit of thinking, especially if people have been involved in other programs. Because this one is a one-on-one business. It's affiliate marketing, which again is selling a product to one individual and earning a commission and earning a residual income for doing so. It is not an MLM. It's also not network marketing because you're not going to sell this to your friends and family. We're not putting you in a situation where you say, okay, great, here's this thing and we're going to talk about warm markets. No. At some point, your friends and family may be interested in doing this, and certainly you can help them do it. But your success does not depend on how you can go to those friends and family and convince them that this is the greatest thing since sliced bread. Don't even tell them about it, because you know why? When you're making money and you've seen that for yourself, it is going to be easy to say to somebody, you know what, put in $25, you're going to make money. Okay? Once you've done it yourself. But it's not an MLM, and that's very difficult for some people because, unfortunately, we attract folks from MLMs, and they come in here thinking it's going to be the same, and they have a lot of problems. Okay, there are no levels. Okay, there are no levels. This isn't one where you make money from the people you bring in, and they make money. No, this isn't it. If you're currently involved with a group which has a mentality or a thinking process that is it's built around terms of levels and downlines, we're asking you, don't bring it here because it has no relevance. It will only hurt you and keep you from understanding what you really need to do. Okay? We're promising to get an income for individuals, not for a collective. That's the difference. We work one-on-one. Our commitment is to you, not to a group. Now, why is this so important? It's important because oftentimes people come to us and they expect us to be able to do what other groups have done in the past, and that is as it relates to, say, multi-level marketing. Every day I hear somebody say to me, you got to talk to this person because they know so many people and they're going to do great for us. No, they are not. You know why? Because whether they're Donald Trump or Little Orphan Annie, they're going to give us the exact same thing. They're going to give us $125 a month for their license. Not for the licenses of the people in their group. We don't get a percentage of anything that's going on down there. We also get 2 of the 4 people that they start out initially with. That's all we get. That's all we get. No more, no less. So it doesn't matter who they are or how many people they bring in. We do not benefit either way. But that's okay. We do pretty fine. We do pretty great on our own. So we're going to show you how you're going to be fine without that. But don't start out initially thinking we got to go talk to these groups. Or can you meet with my group? Can you get with this group? Can you? No. No. The time I would spend talking to your group of people who are trying to figure out what to do about the levels and figure out who goes in what downline, that same time I can talk to 10 or 20 people who just want to work from home and just want to make an income. And I'm talking to them about parting with $25, about trusting us enough to give us $25. I'm not interested in talking to your group about making millions. They can make that just fine, but I'm not here trying to sell wolf cookies. So please don't ask me to. I've been doing this for 17 years now, and I've never been involved in an MLM. Recently, I did get involved with a group that had helped me with something that I did that I guess was like an MLM, made a little bit of money on it. And as a courtesy to them, I said, hey, you want to take a look at this thing? And all of a sudden, I am so knee-deep in MLMers, I don't know what to do. I almost made a rule, if you're involved in an MLM, don't come here. But I'm not going to go to that extreme. Your folks are smart enough to get it. We don't do things like an MLM, so don't try to modify our thing to be that thing, because it's not that thing. Our thing, in our opinion, is much better. You make more money, and you don't have to get involved in trying to get groups together at the IHOP to tell them about this thing. Because they see this thing, and they either get it or they don't. If they do, they get great income. If they don't, we're glad they gave us an opportunity to show it to them, because there's millions of other people who are going to be able to benefit from this thing. Okay, well, enough of all that. So our rules. We keep our hands and feet to ourselves. We use nice words. We follow directions. And we work quietly. Means we don't call us on the phone, ask us questions, constantly thinking, hey, I had an idea. And especially, please, don't call me up. Yeah, I make good money. That's true. But I am not taking any of it and investing in any other program, because I will do just fine with this thing because I love doing it. It's great. But don't call me up and offer me to ask me to take a look at your newest little thing that's out there. I don't care if it pays me $100,000 bazillion per second. I don't want anything to do with it. This is my baby. This is what I love. This is what's going to help other people, and I'm sticking with it. I can't be distracted, because the time I spend looking at your little deal, I'm failing those that I've promised to help, and I'm not a liar. If I said I'm going to get them an income, well, guess what? I'm going to get them an income. So please don't distract me with your things. Okay. It seems like I'm doing an awful lot of complaining, and I'm sorry, but I've got a few more things I need to complain about. Might as well get it up front as you come in the door. Here you are. When I showed up at Parris Island back in 1975 at the age of 18, well, they made clear to me right away what some of the rules were going to be. Well, this isn't Marine Corps boot camp, and I'm not going to do that with you, but I do want you to have an expectation of exactly what's going to be going on. We need you to be teachable, not because we want to be control freaks, but because we've taken an awful lot of time with all of our years of experience and all of the testing and much money spent to test out certain things. We want you to be able to follow them. We don't have time to follow up and check up on you. But it's frustrating to see the results of what you do that have deviated from what we asked you to do. For example, we'll ask people to place an ad, and we say the subject needs to be direct sales from your location. Not, hey, work at home, hey, you need to do this in your garden, hey, this is the greatest thing for people who make dolls. No, 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 please do what we asked. There's a reason we wanted to say direct sales from your location. Please do what we ask you to do. All right? Then when we say to people, forward the email to us, not rewrite the stuff in a thing and send it to, we want to be able to go back to the individual with their original email and say, here's the answers we want for you. Because people won't open up an email if it's got some new subject of somebody else coming along and telling them they're going to have the next greatest thing. How many of those do you get a day? But if we're responding to a direct information request from you, you're likely to say, oh yeah, that's the email I sent to the guys. Hey, what did they say that I'm going to be able to do? Please don't rebuild the system. Please don't. Do what we ask. That's being teachable. Now, does that mean you have to do everything without question? Absolutely not. Question anything. Question everything. We value your input. You guys know a lot of stuff. Okay? Just don't change it arbitrarily. In other words, we give it to you and you say, oh, I don't have to do it that way. I'm just going to change it. If you're going to change something, let us know in advance so we can explain to you why it's that way. And ultimately, we can come to a decision together about how it ought to be. Just don't take this thing and try to modify it to your own ways. Because again, that takes us away and makes us spend time away from our goal, which is to get everybody an income with this thing. That's what we want to spend 1,000% of our time doing, not talking to you on the phone about, hey, what do you think if I do this? Maybe I should post in more than one city. We only ask people to post once every 48 hours and never in the same city twice. We prefer they go back and simply renew an existing ad. And some people will say, well, I went out there and I did 10. Well, those ads will never be seen. Okay? Please don't be the Lone Ranger. You're operating with a very successful group here who, with your help and your input, will make everybody successful. So, don't be the, hey, how's it going person. Because again, we don't have time to brief everybody individually. This thing is getting too large. All right? So when you call us up to say, oh, I'll just call to see how it's going. Well, especially if we've already filled your front four, because now our attention isn't on you anymore. We've done what we need to do. You're qualified. We never have to hear from you again, literally. What we will do, though, is we've committed to working with your people so you start making money from what's going on down there. So if you want us to stop making money through having money sent to you, then why don't you stop us and let us explain to you how it's going. But hey, you know what? We don't know how it's going because here's why. This money's going to come directly to you. The details of all that are all in this, in the tutorials. You'll see how that works. But it's coming directly to you. So we don't know how it's going. How's it going? Well, did you just receive some money? Because when this thing gets up and running, you will be receiving money not weekly, not monthly, not even daily. You're going to be receiving it in real time. So you could be getting payments hour by hour. And you'll be able to look, because you're getting the email from your payment processor saying you just received this much money from this person. You have now a current balance of, you know how it's going, so maybe we'll ask you, hey, how's it going? To let us know if you're making some money, because we don't know. That's why we're not accountable to you as an employee or even a subcontractor. We don't send you a 1099. We don't send you a W-2. Why? Because we don't know how much money you're making. These folks are buying these products directly from you. So, ask yourself before you pick up the phone, will an email suffice? And if the answer is yes, please send the email, because we're trying to do what we promised to do, and that is get everybody the income. Okay, now the good part. We wrote out here step by step. Now, this doesn't mean this is week 1, week 2, day 1, day 2. This could be hour by hour, or it could take us over, a period of time. But we give you an idea of what happens first, second, third, and what that means to you. So, the very first thing is we have you look at this tutorial, we have you absorb this information, and we simply ask you to put out a Craigslist ad, because everybody can do that. It's very simple. Now, again, you can already see the logic of us having multiple people putting out, Craigslist ads, as opposed to us trying to find a way to put out one ad for everybody. And we don't need to be the one person that it comes to. It's going to be spread loaded. We need it to be done this way. So we have you put out an ad. Okay, great. Now, within the first 7 days, maybe the first hour, maybe the next day, but within that 7 days, it is our goal that you will be contacted by a placement specialist. This is the person who's going to fill your group. Now, if you've got people you want to put in there, great. You let the placement specialist know at that time. But they will not work with you if they haven't received a contact back. So if they email you or call you and say, hey, we're ready to do something for you, you need to respond. Now, that doesn't mean you have to be sitting by the phone waiting for them. When we say respond back, we'll give you, the rest of the day or whatever. But if we send you an email and we don't hear from you, or we leave a message on your phone and you aren't bothered to take care of business, well then, we'll go find somebody that is ready to do something. Because there's a few things we're going to need you to do only during this first 4. Because once we fill that first 4 for you, you're not going to be bothered by us again. Your bother is going to simply be looking at your bank account. Okay? Because we're going to make sure that the people below you are qualified, which means they're sending you money. Okay. So, as we do this, your placement specialist is going to fill your first position. You're going to receive $23.90 to your PayPal account. Why is it $23.97? Because PayPal just took $1.03. Great. We're going to invoice you right away for that $23.97 because you're paying the placement specialist basically $25. Okay? And we don't want you to have to try to figure out if the money's not there. We don't want to invoice you for the full $25 because you wouldn't have money in your account to send back. So you send that first one back. This is why it costs you no money out of pocket. The only money you're going to be spending is money the system generates for you to get that first 4. After that first 4, you're never doing this kind of thing again. You're not spending any of your money. You're spending it on what you want. Okay. So the second position, now that's going to go up to the person above you. That's a full $25 that we don't touch. That's money in their pocket, just like it'll be money in your pocket here in a few days. Okay. So you still receive an invoice for that $25, which will be paid in the future as you actually have income. But we invoice you for it right away so we don't have to try to remember it later. As soon as we place that second position, an invoice is generated and the system will remember that it's there. And you'll remember it's there. But know that no one's bothering you to get paid something that you don't have the money for, because we know that we're not going to be able to get that money till we put something there for you. We'll generate the $25 that you're going to pay us with. Fair? Okay. Now, the third spot is going to be generated, and that person belongs to you. Again, it's a $23.97. We're just going to ask you to send it right back. All right. And then the fourth position, it's going to go up to your sponsor. So now your sponsor from your first 4 has just received $50, which is theirs. Okay? Just like it's going to happen for you here in the next few minutes. Seriously. Because now you have 2 people that have, you got 4, 2 of them went up, you now have a team of 2 people. Those 2 people are going to do the exact same thing you just did. You're going to keep 2 of them and you're going to send 2 above, and those 2 that go above are going to hand that person their entrance fee, their money. So, you just received from your first 2 people $25 each. This is what's going to pay, well, that's going to basically give you $50. So this is going to pay what was left of the initial fees for the placement specialist getting your first 4 done. Okay, so now we're done. Then the 4 people that are generated from them, guess what? You get $200. Then, as we start to fill in those groups, once we know, for example, you are getting enough monies, and I use the term monies, when you get enough money coming in, you're going to be able to upgrade and buy the second license from money the system generates, from money you've earned. And why are we going to ask you to do that? Yeah, it's a recurring thing every month, but you've got a business that the commissions will be there before the bills do. It's going to come out of the same place the commissions are going, so you'll never even have to know it's happened. You don't even have to be there. No one's going to ask you, hey, click here to make this person join. It's going to happen automatically. So if you get your first 4 and take off for Tahiti, the money's going to be there. Okay? So what happens then is you're going to have upgraded your license, and now, because you've upgraded your license, you are now fully qualified. Okay? Fully qualified. And that's an important place to be. All right. Now that you're fully qualified, you've made about $350 because of the activities going on down below. All right? You don't have to place ads anymore. We don't want you to place ads because we don't want too many people placing the same ad. Now, this can all happen within a 7-day period. It may happen within a 10-day period, but you have to be flexible with us, knowing that when we say don't place ads, that's not a penalty. That's not because we don't love you anymore. We're just simply saying it's not needed in the system. All right. Now all of a sudden the groups are getting a little larger. These placement specialists are doing their thing. So you're going to be receiving, for example, $25 from each of the 16 people that are in the third generation. There's $400. Now you're up to $750. Now, at that point, the second generation, those are the first two that you got, are going to be buying their $100 license from you. You just received a $100 bill. You're going to get invoiced from the placement specialist for $25 of that, because that's their fee for having this person upgrade. 25 out of the 100 you just received, no money out of pocket, and you've now got from the other $25 you've been receiving, you've now got $1,150. Now, this is important. This is why this works where others don't. This is the most important breakthrough, revolutionary idea that's ever been done in this kind of thing. We're having placement specialists, and this is the reason we said direct sales. When an individual calls in, we're telling them, hey, we've got sales positions and we have marketing positions. If they have experience, and I'm serious, experience, and they can talk to folks on the phone and they're comfortable doing that, they're going to earn about $1,000 a week right off the bat as a placement specialist. We'll hire them to do that, not paying them out of our pocket, simply the funds that you just saw that they're being paid, because they're going to be making about $200 a day, which 5 days a week is $1,000. But they're also going to have their own business account just like you do. So they're going to be generating the same kind of activity for themselves that you generate. So it's not an either or. What it is either you're a market specialist or you're a placement specialist and a marketing specialist at the same time, except those folks don't place ads. Those people simply deal with the public. Now, because they're constantly being added throughout the entire matrix, if you will, and it's not really a matrix, it's a straight line, but because several of the people that come to you are going to in fact hire placement specialists, and their people are going to hire placement specialists. A placement specialist only deals with a group once. Once they do your 4 for you, they never go back to you again. So they're always looking for other groups to fill. And they will never run out of people who have 4 people that need to be filled. Maybe that person put in 1. We'll get the other 3 for them. Maybe they put in none. We'll get all 4. Maybe they put in 3. They'll get 1. You get the point. These placement specialists are being added all the time, and that's what allows this system to grow forever, because you're always not only bringing in new people, the 2, 4, 6, 8, 8, 16, 32, 64, and when it gets to actually at the 20th generation, it's 1 million people. Are you going to be servicing 1 million people? No, of course not. But what will happen is there'll be people throughout all of these generations dedicated to the purpose of helping all those around them get their 4 people. That's what they do. That's what they get paid for. And they're happy to do it. And they're good at it. Because it's not that hard to call people up and ask them, hey, $25 and we can do this for you. And we give them a money back guarantee, because we're not trying to steal their $25. And guess what? It's 100% commission. They broke even on the very first sale, as you just saw. You got a lot more than $25 coming right back at you. Okay, so that's the point. The placement specialists hire other placement specialists, receive payment for doing so, and it continues to put people in the system that are going to help the system grow generation after generation after generation. Now, at the 4th generation, you're going to receive $800 from the people that are in that group. So now you've gotten up to $1,950. Now at this point, the 3rd generation is ready to give you their $100 each to upgrade their licenses. Why? Because that's what they've earned. The placement specialist called them up and said, I'm about to send you 5 people, or 4 people, or 6 people, whatever the case is. They're going to hand you $25. You're required to take that $100, which you've earned through what we've done for you, and buy your license. Who gets it? The person above you. You're getting it now from the people that came in below you. They're giving you $100 each, and they will continue to give you $125 a month forever and ever, as long as they have a healthy business. And they are going to have a healthy business, because we're doing exactly for them what we're doing for you. That's the whole point. They can't be around and give you money if they're not making any money. That's why when people have said to us early on, why don't you just go hire all these people direct and they'll all give you $125? Well, no, they won't. Why would they give me $125? If I haven't given them a means to earn money, they're not going to be able to give me $125 unless they just like me a lot. And I doubt that's going to happen. So the point is, our goal is to be able to earn this money by having people having money themselves. That's the reason for this system. So You're getting money from the people that are upgrading your $100. You're getting money from people constantly that are being brought in at $25 each. So yes, you're seeing money constantly coming into your account. And then what happens? Well, now it should be about 4 weeks and people start renewing their licenses. The first generation pays you $125 each. The second generation pays you $125 each. The third generation, the fourth generation. So you're getting all of these $125 each at the same time that you're getting new $25 and new $100 payments. It's all coming together for you. And it can do that. Look at it on paper. Do the math. It can't do that if we just start out at the top and have one entity up there saying, well, we're going to go out and get all your folks for you. Well, good luck with that. Or you get 4 and you get 4 and you get 4 and you get 4 and everybody will be happy all forever and ever. No, you won't, because it isn't going to happen. Not because people aren't dedicated, not because they don't want to, but because life happens and it doesn't get done. We don't let that stand in our way. Quattro Enhancement is simply taking a fantastic program from an A+ rated company and making it work because we put people in place at every generation to have those individuals around them get their 4. And it doesn't mean 100% of the people have to have placement specialists. That wouldn't work either. If we can't get them to just go out and get 4, how are we going to get them to hire somebody to do placement specialists? As long as a certain percentage, and it isn't very high, of the people in each of these generations are able to use the formula we give them, the scripts, the details of how to hire them, how to pay them, how they operate, when they invoice, when they don't, all the different options available to them. We give you everything, and I stress give. We don't take money from you for this because we don't want a financial relationship with you. We want to give you this information freely because we're doing very well with this, and we can't continue to do well with this if there's not people out there earning money that's able to give us the $125 and all the people below us and so on and so on. So it just makes sense that we do it this way, and we're committed to the prospect that it's only $25 because we're not out here trying to sell some great financial plan that's going to have cycles and levels, and if you buy this it's going to give you that, and you go out there. We've seen the people that have gone out and taken loans and put $100 or $10,000 into something expecting to get paid every day. We don't want to see that happen again. That was really the catalyst for getting us in this position to do this last summer. We're affiliate marketers. We sell things and get commission. We figure that that's the only safe way to do it. You get someone to commit $25 with the possibility of this kind of a business that they're going to have, and we can sleep at night. Or just give them back their $25 and then there's no problem. But we don't want to see them take out that loan. We want them to realize the dream without the possibility of it not working because of something that may happen with one of their people. No, there is no possibility. It's going to happen. All right. So you can study all those things. You can see exactly what's going. And so then when we come to you and ask how it's going, you can tell us, hey, we're doing pretty well. Because again, we don't know because we don't see your money. We don't handle your money. You can let us know if everything's working, preferably by email. Okay? Now ask yourself this. This is one of, again, the common questions that people ask. Well, is this thing going to go on and on? Well, the folks that do this different ways, going after different target markets, going after people to try, they're all sending out email blasts, and some of them are sending out phone blasts, and some of them are sending out postcards. That probably works pretty well, but it costs money to do it. We're not putting down any of those ways. Great. Wonderful. We hope they all succeed. But here's what we know, and here's why we freely share this. As long as there are people that want to earn income from home with the smallest investment of $25, as long as that exists, then we're going to continue to grow. You're going to continue to grow. Will there be millions? Absolutely there will be billions. But that doesn't matter. You're not going to get the money from millions. You're going to simply get the money from those that pay you $125 a month, and they will be there to pay you $125 a month forever and ever because they're earning money. And it will continue to grow because we don't lose people, we add people every single day. Because the elements for the Quattro Enhancement, Quattro meaning 4, enhancement just meaning we add something to an existing great, fantastic program, That enhancement allows this thing to sustain the growth because it is self-perpetuating. It provides the things on its own for allowing for the continued growth at every generation. So, you're going to be able to look at all of the things that we've said, every detail of the reverse 2-up process, every detail of, we're going to have to give you spreadsheets that show you exactly what happens when. We'll give you details on how you'll be able to acquire placement specialists. We'll talk about how you place an ad. We don't leave anything to chance. As you can see, we're very big on attention to detail, and I guess you could say we're very big on asking people to do what we want them to do. Is it because I was in the Marines for 20 years and the other people that I'm associated do the same thing? Well, maybe so, because we kind of know that if you want to get something done, you come up with a fantastic plan and you don't deviate it. You test it, and if it works, you stick with it. Because you're going to hear this saying, you've heard it all your life. If it works, don't fix it. So welcome aboard. We are happy that you're here, and we're also happy that we're going to be able to work with you to be able to give you what you came here for. Not to hang out with a bunch of fantastic people, even though we are. Yeah, we'll all go on a cruise together. That's okay. No, you can't come have lunch with me because I need to spend that time getting other people an income. Right now, I'm lucky to be able to have lunch with my wife. But be that as it may, we're going to do this thing, and of course, we're not going to be working as hard because once we get this thing going, it's built so it doesn't need us. It's not depending on us. We could go out and get hit by a landmine and this thing will still be working for you. So don't worry about that. All right, so there you are. That's what you do. We're glad to have you aboard. Yeah, you just spent 40 minutes listening to me jabber on, but if you got tired in the middle, at least you're now looking at a PDF that's going to give you the exact same information. We love doing what we do because we believe in it. We believe this will help everyone. And we really appreciate the people that built this program. It isn't us. That we can just add something to it. But those folks, specifically the individuals that wrote this thing, we owe them a lot. And if this means we can help other people use that program that they wrote to do what it was originally intended to, well, guess what? That's exactly what we want to do. Okay, guys, we'll certainly be talking to you later in the future. Good luck with all this stuff. We're there to help. And let's make it happen.